Oh my gosh, all of that. I was muted. So sorry, guys. Hi, Tracy from TierraCast. And I guess I don't need to switch my camera back for you guys to see that again, but maybe I will just for the heck of it, because when I edit this video for Facebook, I'll probably edit out all that stuff where I was talking and you guys weren't hearing me. So, so what we're doing today is we're going to be talking about our Dulce Vita collection. And our Dulce Vita collection was originally launched in 2017, the beginning of 2017. And it was inspired by polymer metal clay. And I'm going to switch the video back and show this necklace to you guys. We're gonna demo. It was inspired by polymer metal clay. This was very much the baby of Stephen Tierra, our founder. He loved metal clay and he wanted to develop some parts that had that feel, had that kind of organic, slightly rustic, and handmade quality. So he started doing some research and he started working with a local artist and getting some texture samples and came up with just, Julie, if you remember, an astonishing amount of product samples that we were considering for launch. So it had to do with, there were different textures, there were different shapes, it was just a huge company-wide involvement of deciding what textures we liked and what shapes we liked. And it was really a fun process. And so it was Steve's baby. And we launched the original collection in January of 2017. And then we launched an additional collection of a few more items in February of 2018. So our demo today is this pretty necklace. It uses some of the crescent links from our second group that we launched, and then some of the charms and other components from our first one. Julie, are you here?
I am.
Hi, Julie. Hi, everybody. I was saying hello to everybody before I realized that I was still on mute.
I'm having a technical difficulty.
Oh, it's always something. One of us is.
So I'm not seeing people's comments yet, so everybody bear with me.
Yeah, they'll come up. I see that Lynn Goodwin is here. Hi, Lynn. And maybe she's the only one that was watching, so nobody saw all of that me being muted bit. So I'm going to change the camera over and show you guys, before we start on the demo, I'll show you guys a little bit more of, some of the parts, some of the components and designs that we did using those components. So many, I'm going to adjust my table a little bit too. Oops, hope I don't lose you guys. Come on, come back. There we go. So originally, gosh, Julie, originally we had these buttons, we had 2 toggle clasps, we had little earring posts and these and some rings to use as links. We had just a whole bunch of lovely stuff. Did the pinch bells come in the first one or the second one? Do you remember?
First. We only did 4 editions and they were the crescent, bead, the cord end, and the oval button.
Oh, okay. So everything else was from the first round. So
I don't see the oval button there.
The little button.
Oh, there it is, upper left.
Oh,
there it is.
Yes, the 2-hole button.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything else, I guess, was from the first launch. And even it's been long enough where a few of the items have been dropped from the line. And I have to show everybody this little pair of earrings, which I adore, and they're one of my everyday pair. I wear them all the time. And this, just as an example of the process that we went through to decide what we were going to make and what we were going to eliminate, this beautiful little diamond shape didn't make the cut in any of the launches, but I kept a couple of them behind, and I wear these earrings like at least a couple times a week. Okay, maybe once a week. It's just interesting. And then we had some square type of rings and rectangles in the early launches in the beginning of the original launch, and they also didn't sell, so we dropped them. But other than that, there's just an amazing array of fun stuff to to choose from in this line of components. And I know you guys have seen us demo with these barrel beads and crimpable cord ends more than once because they're very popular for working with leather cord. And we're actually going to work with them today in the demo we do. And then just for a little bit of eye candy, some of the designs that we created when we were marketing these two launches, many of which are on the website. These earrings are on the website. And it feels like I demoed these, but I don't think I did, Julie. I think I'm mixing them up with the lasso earrings.
You know, probably so. And that would be a great one to demo. And it's a, oh no, that one is not a kit. That should be.
This one's not a kit, but it is on the website.
I'm going to put a link to it for you.
And this fun thing that I did with the 2-hole buttons, that was just so fun. I used a rat tail cord and just wove them through the 2-hole buttons to make this bracelet. Had a good time with that. Something else, oh, and here's the newer, what do we call this shape of button? I forget. I've seen them called like lozenge buttons. I'm not sure, but anyway, this little button came with our second group, and it's a beautiful little
bead. That lozenge bead.
Right. And something else that's super fun with the Dulce Vita components is they have such a wonderful texture that we ended up using different products to color them sometimes, and with really good effect. So that might be a fun demo going down the road too, Julie.
Yeah, let's make a note of it.
Yeah, that was a fun thing to do. I think both of these are Gilder's paste. Just really had a good time with that.
Do you know another thing we did that I had forgotten about until you started talking was we also added some of the components in silver plate. That's
true. Let me bring I just set that tray of parts aside, but let me bring it back. So some of these, when we designed the line, Steve wanted that very rustic feel. So we went with an antique brass and an antique pewter finish. And as time went on, we kind of made the assessment that some of these parts should be offered in all of our plates. So the toggle clasps, we added additional plates like silver and gold and copper, and all of the buttons, I believe, Julie.
I have to look, but you know what, the cord ends.
The cord ends and the barrel beads for sure, and I think the pinch bails too got added in the additional finishes, because those are parts that people could use in other designs.
Okay.
So we wanted that variety of finishes for those. Oh, and then this design we were just talking about last week, if any of you were watching, it's some of the rings that we did hole punching in, and then I filled them with resin and glass glitter. So we did agree that this will make a great demo, and I think I'm going to try and get this prepped for next week, because that's just a fun process. I used UV resin, so we may demo both. Maybe we'll demo UV resin and 2-part epoxy resin. We'll see how I get that put together. So, but moving on to today's demo, which is, I'm going to try moving my camera again. It's not liking when I move it, it tries to disconnect again, but let me just try it a little bit. And zoom in a little bit. So our necklace, which I was saying is made with the crescent components. This is our little demo for later, so we'll just tuck that to the side a little bit. But the necklace is made with our crescent components, the smallest little Dulce Vita charms, the crimpable cord ends, and some 2mm round leather cord. And I think I'll just get started on that. Oh, and this demo, I said it a little bit ago, we do end up crimping these cord ends a lot. You can also use glue, but crimping is fun. So that's what we'll demo. So let me figure out how much cord I need. It says 26 inches. As usual, I should have gone through my instructions beforehand, guys. I kind of forgot to do that. So I'll be happy.
Start now, Tracy.
Uh,
Why start reading and preparing now?
right, really. I'll have to be referring to them as we go to remind myself what we need to do. But the first instruction does say to cut 4 6.5-inch lengths of leather cord. So we'll follow the instructions, and that's what we'll do.
Definitely on the measuring. Follow your instructions.
Yes, following my instructions.
We have learned that.
Yep. So I'm measuring the first one, and then I'm just matching the other ones, which isn't necessarily a great idea. Really, you're supposed to measure each one, but you know, little tricks. I'm just going to check and make sure they are really all the same length.
Kathy is saying that those daisies are really cute, and I must have been distracted. I don't know what daisies she's talking about.
The daisies. Oh, was she looking at, was it this?
It's a little bit earlier. Oh, yeah.
That is a fun little seed bead project using super duos. It's not too complicated. I don't know if I'd call it beginner, but it's on the website. So I sent Julie a link so she can post that. And off the top of my head, I'm not remembering what we called it, but she'll post it for you.
Find it and I will post it. And it looks like a more beaded bracelet.
That could be because it has the Amore button.
Okay.
That's what I called it.
You have a method to your madness.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. All right, so the instructions that I wrote for these say, I dumped all my head pins on the floor yesterday, Julie, accidentally.
Oh, brother.
I know, so I'm trying to scoop them up and like get the carpet debris out of them.
Unfortunately, every bead store owner out there can top that story.
Absolutely. Let's see. The directions I wrote for this actually say to glue, but we're just going to crimp. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is crimp these ends onto two of the strands. And we've talked about different tools you can use for crimping. We really like the parallel pliers. You can also use, what do you call these? Nylon jaw flat nose pliers. But the trick with those ones is just to be careful because they can be a little bit slippery.
You know, I'm not a big fan of those. I get too much slippage.
Yeah, they're nice because they don't mar the metal as much, but you're right, they're a little slippery. And you can also just use chain nose pliers or flat nose pliers.
Well, Alan Joseph, our fearless leader, was a big fan of the nylon because he was our product development manager and co-owner, and he just hated seeing his designs mushed.
I know he did protest a lot when we started doing this, didn't he?
A lot. Mildly.
Progress, Al, is just progress. You got to roll with it. So you can see that's pretty easy. You know, the pewter is, where's my other crimp end? Did I only give myself 2 to work with? Let me grab a couple more.
Probably the forest in through the trees in that on your workstation there.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to use these crimp ends to professionally finish off your leather. I just could not be a bigger fan.
They are really great. And you can see, I think I started to say, you can see that it's pretty easy to crimp them.
It is.
And the wonderful thing about this particular pattern, the Dulce Vita pattern, is that if you squish them a little bit, it's not really, it doesn't ruin the finish. It doesn't ruin the look.
I think Alan did that on purpose.
do
Those passed his test.
Yeah, I do want to check these as I crimp them to make sure they're secure before I think I'm done, because I don't want things falling apart later.
You know, Tracy, that I make pretty heavy jewelry, heavy necklaces. I've never had one fail.
That's
And
correct.
no, I don't glue.
All right, that one's good. All right, so I've done those. I set them aside. I hope that we'll have enough time, Julie, to do the second little hole punching demo. So I need to pick it up here. I need to string.
You got 40 minutes.
Well, I know, but maybe the viewers don't.
Oh.
I've got some sweet little turquoise beads. And as you guys know, you must know with gemstone beads, sometimes the holes can be not very consistent. So that's the first thing I discovered when I went to string that one, is that it wasn't quite gonna go. And neither is this one. How funny. I did all of these yesterday, you guys, so I know the string. Just get my all.
This is the suspenseful part that we have come to love.
It's true. We do want to keep you guys riveted. There we go.
Woo.
Sometimes they just need a little coaxing.
Grab a thinner gauge head pin.
Well, I like to use our what are these? They're
20 gauge. Oh, 21 gauge.
I do like to use these ones best for simple loops because they are super sturdy.
True.
But you're right. Sometimes you got to go for the finer. I'm not gonna though. I'm just gonna keep trying beads until I find ones that the holes are cooperative. And there are definitely, you know, when people run into this, there's techniques. You can take a little round file and you go underwater with your gemstone. You take a little round file and you file out the hole a little bit.
Underwater.
Yeah, I think that I do not have a lot of experience with that. So, you know, there may be people watching. Boy, these ones are really like, they were so easy yesterday. What happened?
Are you sure you weren't using the 24 gauge head pin?
Because look, I used the 21 gauge.
Okay.
On all of these. So
You weren't on camera yesterday, Tracy.
I was on camera. That's the thing. So come on now.
Oh, that one looks like you got it.
I know, it looks like it should just slide right on there, huh? But yeah, there's definitely filing tricks for making your holes on gemstones work. I'm not quite sure what we ran into. Maybe this strand that I'm pulling them off of, maybe it's just not as consistent.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yay. Ha! Got one.
Bravo, bravo.
Bravo.
Well, we all know this one, planning a design and getting started and just having the beads not fit on our materials.
Mm-hmm.
Not fun.
It's not. So I'm just making simple loops. And you guys, I think I demoed this little trick. I want my loops to be all the same size. So I'm just using my piece of scrap wire to use as a gauge for the additional ones. And some people mark their round nose pliers. Some people don't trim their wire. They make the loop first and then trim off the wire. And in that case, they sometimes mark their set with their round nose pliers so that they can, that's where they line up the wire, and that way their loops are the same every time.
That is a great tip. Lynn Carlane says that she drills her pearls underwater.
Right, I've heard. See, I just have not done much of that. So
I've never done it.
Any of the tips are good. And ask Lynn, does that apply to gemstones too? You should just do it underwater, and it's just more gentle and it keeps them from breaking. Is that the wisdom?
Let's hope we hear back from her.
Yeah. All right. So what else? What else do I got going on? I need jump rings. And I'm going to use.
Good job putting that plastic cover back on your.
So I don't accidentally impale myself. Yeah, that's smart, huh? On the awl.
Yes.
Okay, so my chain should be how long? 3 3/4 inch. I'm using this curb chain. A little longer than 3 3/4, and you could absolutely make this section, I guess, a little longer if you wanted to, but I'm sticking with the original design.
Kathy Corky drills all of her beads underwater.
Yeah, I knew I had
try it next time.
All right, so I'm going to start attaching components. I think the first thing I need to do is attach one of these right at the center. So to find that center link, and I hope this is an odd number because I need it to have a center, and it does, yay. Sure. There's my center link.
Wow, that's a great tip also, how you just did that.
To just hang it from the 2 end links.
The way you put the end pieces through a head pin and found your center.
Now the trick is to get that, without losing track of it, and get that charm attached, that bead attached. Okay, to the center, and that way I've got my center marked, and I can start adding these a little like in an orderly fashion and able to see where the center is. I really should have read my instructions before this, you guys, just really should have.
I'm loving watching your thought process.
Oh, well, I got my center, like I was saying, so I'm going to just arrange this first link around that center bauble and use jump rings to attach it accordingly.
So Lynn is updated with more information that she does drill under the water. Hasn't done gemstones, but the pearls all the time because the pearls get hot and you don't want to breathe the dust. So I'm not sure what kind of drills they're using, but it sounds like serious drills.
Yeah. Well, there's little, what are they called? The little electric ones. Dremel? Do Dremels have a drill attachment? Is that what you use for that?
I'm betting that it's something like that.
Clearly, we need to start doing a little more gemstone work, Julie.
Well, and definitely some drilling because you could have all the holes pre-drilled.
All right, so let's see. And also, this is an important point. I'm using the original chain in this design is a cable chain that we no longer carry. So I replaced it with the Rollo chain. And so the instructions on my sheet may have directions about, not the link numbers, if that makes sense. But I don't, since I'm not using the same chain, I'm going to need to just wing it.
I like the Rollo.
Yeah, I do too. So I've got my center one, and I'm just going to work my way out with the little charms until I figure out, and then that way I'll also figure out where I'm going to put the additional, the other crescent links. So I think here, I don't want them too crowded.
Okay, so Lynn uses an electric reamer that
Okay.
we can get. She says not very expensive and very easy. All two of my favorite things.
Not not hard to get and
Not
inexpensive.
expensive and very easy.
Here's something that to bring up, Julie, that we didn't mention while we were talking about our production process when we came up with this line, is that these charms are all of the components, all of the Dulce Vita components are two-sided. So the patterns are different
Yes.
on the back side and the front side. So you can see right there that I put them on opposite. Now I could change that and make them the same, but I think I'm going to leave it just for the fun of it, just for the variation. And I actually think I need to move these back to the left. Hey, and if we run out of time, Julie,
Yes.
next week will be the hole punching. We'll just bump the hole punching second one
Sure.
next week. I'm moving this back over. Right. So then add these.
So your original piece did not have one of the focals reversed, right?
No, all the little charms were the same direction. And this isn't actually my design. This was a Katie design, Katie Hill.
Oh, it
Yeah.
looks like you. It looks like something you would have done.
Oh, you're right. Katie tended to be very extravagant jewelry designs, and this one has a very boho feel. Not really her usual. Oops, now I'm getting my crescents backwards. Goodness, we're all backwards. But that is such a good thing that we're bringing up is when you're working with these, you do need to pay attention to front and back.
Well, it's very easy to change if you make a mistake.
Yeah, you do really want to pay attention if you want the same sides facing forward. Oops, lost it. I'm wondering, just a random curiosity, as I'm working with these jump rings, why they're called jump rings. And the reason I'm wondering is because sometimes you're working with them and they just kind of jump out of your hands. I
completely do not believe that is the reason.
I don't think so either, but isn't it a funny observation? Working with them and they just fly out of your hands.
Yeah, they do jump out of your hands. I wonder why they are called that. I have no idea.
Yeah, there must be some metal work.
Never even thought of it.
Let's see. So this is going to go. So I've got the little, the second crescent, and now I'm just hanging one of the gemstone dangles right in between, a chain link that's right in between.
Okay, so I just need to say that I am watching this on two screens. One is the live feed on Facebook and one is the Zoom feed. And I, every once in a while, I'm seeing the, just now, the Facebook feed go blank and show my name. Now, I'm not sure if that's what our viewers are seeing, but if you are, could you let us know that? Because that might have something to do again with your connection.
I do want to see if I can get, while we're working.
That's what our viewers are seeing.
Oops, sorry.
But if you are, could you let us know that? Sorry, people.
Sorry, I'm getting the feed up so that I can see it too, and
that was you, not me. Good. Oh, yeah, they're saying yes. So
yes. Yes, what?
We are getting, the screen is going blank and showing my name largely, Julie Young.
Okay, so your video's not working.
Flickering. It's the viewers are saying that. So it's something, the Zoom feed is fine, but the Facebook live feed that you're watching on Facebook is doing it.
Okay, let me see if I can.
It's not all the time. It's just a flicker now and then.
Okay. Aha. If I pin mine, now I pinned it, which that's not happened for us before, has it?
That's new. It's a whole new bag of tricks.
It's always something. But I just pinned this view, the view of my camera here. So we'll see if it stops it from doing that.
Nope, there it goes.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. Or is it just because of the delay?
I don't know, but we are having very tolerant, as usual, viewers, because there's now that's blank again.
Yeah. Oh, bummer. Well, you'll just have to stop talking so much, Julie.
Not very likely.
Okay, so as long as it's on, if we don't space out and forget and it stays on you and not on me, because I stopped talking or something, you know?
Hmm.
So I'm just continuing, I'm adding this third, adding the third crescent link. You know, that demo, I'm sorry, upgrade Zoom did recently, did do a couple of weird things. And one of them being that black screen, oops, my first one came off. That kind of black screen thing that we're getting.
Yes.
When the videos are living on our Facebook page, you don't see a thumbnail of the video. You just see a black screen and it doesn't go away until you start playing the video. So it's not very pretty. And I am in communication with Zoom to try and figure out what the problem is. So far, no resolution.
I think it's interesting that the Zoom view is not doing that at all. It's the translation to Facebook. So anyway, I assured our viewers that we will figure it out before next week. Tracy, no pressure.
Hey, yeah, no pressure.
Kathy says that maybe jump rings are called jump rings because they allow you to jump between components.
I like that. That's a good. You see that? Do you see that jumping out of my hand though?
Yeah. They're both good. They're both good reasons.
Yeah. Come on, just stay where you need to be. And the last little gemstone.
I love designs that have chain and leather working together.
Yes.
To create the finished piece. It's a great way to, because chain can be, chain is more expensive than leather. So it's a great way to get your chain to go farther.
True. All right, so now I have my little focal section almost completed. There's still the 2 little additional charms. And again, I want to pay attention to which way I put it on. And I'm alternating them is what I decided since I flip-flopped the first 2. Just going to alternate them. This is where you say, finish your sentence, Tracy. Last
That's
one.
the pot. That would be the pot calling the kettle black.
Right.
So this is so funny. When I was watching you, I thought you were going to alter the focals, some forward and some backward. I was not on to your technique.
No, I think I had just flipped it over inadvertently. So now I'm taking another one of my little jump rings. Let's see. All the little dangles are looking good. I'm taking one of the jump rings and I'm going to attach it to one of the leather cord pieces. I ended up off center. How did I do that? Because I have 3 jump rings at this end and only 1 at this end. But to fix that, I'm just going to, this is an unsoldered chain. So I can actually open the links. And I'm just going to add a couple links to this one. Can't do that with an unsoldered chain unless you have a saw and a, you know.
These people do, guaranteed.
So then 1, 2, 3. So then I need to disconnect it here. All right, so now I have the equal amount of chain on each side. I'm not quite sure how we got off count. I thought I was being very careful.
All the chit chat.
And add that second leather and cord end assembly. Oh, and I remembered, which hopefully I would have remembered before we completely finished, there's also a charm that hangs down at the bottom of the center crescent link.
Do you have to punch a hole to get that?
You do not. This crescent link has 3 holes. It has one at the 2 top edges and then one down at the center. But the whole hole punching thing, it looks like we might still have time to do a little bit of that.
If you wanted to put 3 charms from the bottom of that,
You could.
then you could punch that one.
You could.
I love it.
Yeah. So there's the focal piece and all the charms. And the last thing to do for the necklace then, unless, like Julie said, we wanted to modify and add more stuff. The only thing left to do then is our toggle clasp. And I'm using, you could choose one of the Dulce Vita toggles, but the original, Katie's original design had this cute little, one of our little, almost vintage clasps. It's our tiny little leaf clasp, which is kind of cute. It's very sweet. And because the Dulce Vita textures are very inspired by nature and, oh my gosh, Julie, we should tell them what all those beautiful words were when we were coming up with this line. It was like, okay, what do we say about this? And I'm going to read that if I can find it.
Well, I did not research that, Tracy.
Well, it's in the emails that I forwarded.
I have it.
Well, for one thing, the original kind of tagline for the launch was love with all your heart, embrace the beauty that surrounds you, cherish time with family and friends. This is the sweet life. And that is what Dulce Vita means. And I always forget if it's the Spanish or the Italian.
We went with the Italian. Nope. One was Dolce. Dolce Vita.
I think
Dolce. That's no. It sounds like we went with the Spanish.
yes, Dulce Vita, and it's it means the sweet life. So that was the inspiration for the marketing behind the launch. So and there was other nice words in the email, which if Julie pulls that up, she'll maybe share them with us.
No
So
pressure.
that's the necklace. Very sweet. Oh, maybe Katie alternated those charms on hers too. Oh, she did. She used them one direction out on the edges of the focal area and then the other direction on the inside. So fun. All right. Are you guys ready for the bonus demo? We're talking about hole punching pliers. So we've mentioned before about how you can easily punch holes in pewter because it's a fairly soft metal. So there's several different manufacturers who sell hole punching pliers and a few different styles. So we have the plier style, both Beadsmith and Beadalon make those in a variety of sizes. We used these a lot when we were working with our leather findings collection because we were sometimes making holes in metal because we wanted to rivet them. So we ended up just finding so many different sizes and styles of hole punching pliers. So again, there's the pliers, and then there's these ones are serious. These ones are by Swanstrom. You have to get them from like Rio Grande or one of the, really jewelry making companies like Rio Grande or Halstead might have them. So these ones are serious. They're a little bit larger, a 2.5 and a 3.5 millimeter, and they're heavy duty. They were really great. But then for kind of everyday or more kind of average use, the pliers were great, and then these twist ones were great, which also come in many sizes. Beadsmith makes them, and Impress Art makes them. So I just want to demo. I was working, doing a little bit of practice with one of our little links, and I hope you guys can see that okay. The existing holes on the piece are down at the ends, and I punched a couple of holes earlier, just messing around and practicing. So I'll show you how to use one of the twist down. I want to choose the right size that I want. It looks like it's a 1/16 inch hole. So that would be small. You would want to, first of all, if you're going to do some hole punching, you'd want to decide where they're going to go. So you might want to mark them either with a Sharpie, or I'm using like a little white chalk pencil. And if I'm going to use the twist down kind, I'm going to put a little piece of tape over my component because I don't want it to mar it too much. And these ones, I did find these ones a little trickier to position, the twist down ones, to get the hole right where you want it. You can see in there and kind of adjust things. And if I was really planning a piece, I would have marked that. But just to show you guys how it works, you tuck the piece in there, and then you just start twisting this down. And you can feel when it pops through. And you can see now that it just moves. And I put that little piece of tape on there just to protect the metal from the tool as it goes through, so it doesn't mark it up. And you can see, very nice little hole. And that was a bigger one than I thought it was. Looks like it's about 2 millimeter. But that is just a very, very, very clean hole. I do find that the twist ones are very clean when you get them through. Now the plier style are also very easy. And again, I would maybe mark that where I wanted to put it, where I wanted to put the hole. And then you just have to squeeze these ones.
Do you find that those go dull rather quickly?
They can get dull, and you can end up getting a little bit of like a rough edge on the back. And then what I do is I just go in with a file and file a little bit, and that's usually enough to, but they do get dull, and you can get replacement you can get replacement punches. I'm pretty sure both Beadalon and Beadsmith have replacement punches for those. So those are just some of the, oh, you know what, maybe I'll demo, since we're just punching holes all over this piece, maybe I'll demo one of the pair of Swanstroms just because they're so fun. This one is a 2.5 millimeter.
Well, they just do such a nice big hole. I don't think there are any of the other handheld ones that do that big of a hole, are there?
Actually do. Impress Art comes, I just punched it with the Swanstrom. I got to get it off there to finish before I go trotting off to find some of the other punches. There we go. So those Swanstrom ones are also just very clean. You can see how nice that hole looks, and there's very little metal kind of displacement around it. Let's see. I have a whole bucket, Julie, of metal hole punching tools here. So Impress Art does make, I was missing the.
I meant a handheld punch, not like a winding punch, one that like a squeeze plier one.
Oh, these ones?
Yeah, those do not come with holes that big, like the 2.5.
Right. Not as big. I think 1.8 millimeter is as big as I have found these ones.
I think so.
I could be wrong. I haven't gone shopping for these in a long time. We've had these around the shop for years. And then Impress Art does have much bigger ones. There's like a 5/32 and a 1/8 inch. So there's a lot of tool options.
Kathy did not get to see the big hole punch because it blacked out and had my name.
Okay.
I really wish it wasn't my name showing up all the time. Oh yeah, this is not particularly good what's happening for our viewers.
Okay, so
okay, there you go.
Okay, so stop talking, Julie.
I don't think it's that. I don't know what it is, but I'm not talking anymore.
It's responding to your voice.
Oh.
So these are the 2.5 millimeters. We're going to demo that again for just because someone missed it. I'm running out of room on this one. Let me get another one. There we go. Just grab one of the crescents. This is the 2.5. And just going to make a random hole. You do want to be careful not to punch the holes too close to the edge because it can really push the metal out of shape. These are lovely. They just make such nice, clean holes. So hopefully that's good. You got to see that one again. And I'm going to go ahead and so I was playing with the idea of little earrings to go with this necklace and liked the idea of making some additional holes on the crescent so that I could hang some of the little turquoise drops. So to do that, I'm going to use one of the going to use the plier style, and I'm not going to really measure. I'm just going to eyeball and make some marks where I want to add some additional holes. And if you use, you know, a Sharpie for this, you can just kind of polish that off with a little polishing cloth or a little tiny bit of acetone on a Q-tip to get that mark off. So I got some additional holes and I'm just going to start punching. And I am going to punch from the front to the back because if there's like little metal edges that I have to file after, I want, hey, one of my lights went off. What happened to my light? A little more light on the subject, guys. Uh-oh, hold on, I'll be back. There I am. I was saying you want to punch from the front to the back in case there's like rough metal edges that you have to file on the back side. And I do, as I was saying, I want to make sure I'm not too close to the edge. One. 2, 3. I guess I don't really need to count. You guys can see, huh? And the 4th. And there is a little bit of roughness on the back. So I'm just going to file those a little bit. With this design, they're earrings, so it's not going to sit against your skin. But still, I wouldn't want to leave that just rough. And if you were doing this on one of our gold or silver plated parts, or actually any other finish, you're going to want to be very careful because you don't want to like file so much that you damage the plating. Well, damage it any more than you did just by punching holes in it, but you know what I mean. Okay. So then I took away all my little dangly bits, all my beads. And now we have to play the which ones are going to fit on the head pins game again. And I can tell that Julie's intentionally being very quiet.
Yes, indeed.
Come on. Give her some ones that'll fit. Julie, that was, I accidentally, there was a 24 gauge head pin in my pile of 21 gauge head pins. So that one just slid on so easily. It was like, oh yeah, 21 gauge or 24 gauge would be nice. So 1, 2, 3. Let's see what I'm gonna do. It is almost 11, but we'll just wrap this up really quick if we can. No questions or anything, Julie?
I'm trying not to talk.
Well, I know, but while I'm just doing this, I think we can get away with a little bit.
Lynn is wondering if what you're working with is gemstones or check.
No, they're little gemstones. You know what I do love about the check is those hole sizes, they're just consistent. You don't have the, there it is. You don't have the inconsistency like you can get with gemstones. Come on now.
And Kathy was questioning how much force was needed. And I said, not much to punch the holes.
Oh, it depends on the tool, really. You do have to be able to give them a pretty good squeeze. If that is a concern for you, then the twist style ones are definitely easier. There we go. All right, so I have 4 head pins set up, but for the center one, I want to use an eye pin because I want to hang a charm from the bottom. So I'm just using one of my scrap pieces of wire to create that. We do sell lovely eye pins, but you know, you can use your scraps as well. I'm getting to that point in the demo, Julie, where I have too much stuff on my work surface and it's getting hard to find tools. Oh, let's just go ahead and add this one to the bottom. This one got a little crooked. It's better. I'm wondering, as far as making head pins, is as far as that goes, how many people are watching that do it, the trim first and then roll it first, and then roll it, or the roll it and then trim it?
Well, I always did it. Well, I've always trimmed before I've rolled, but I never saw your tip, which is great to make them all the same size. And I'm going to do that going forward. That I can't believe I never thought of that. And I would always eyeball them. And sometimes I had these really big loops and.
Right, right. Something else I try to remember, but I'm not always super consistent with it, is to attach a dangle with the open part of the loop to the back. I forget to do that a lot, and so the opening is at the front, and which is not a big deal. I just think it's slightly cleaner if I make the effort to work from the front to the back. Does that make sense? All right, so we got all our little dangles hung. And my last step, and again, I need some jump rings, is I'm going to attach some chain. To the top of the crescent. This is a fine little chain, so it's a teeny bit fidgety. And I didn't really measure it for this pair. I'm just gonna eyeball it. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 links on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoops, missed that. And there goes those jump rings jumping again. And I want to let that hang so it's not twisted when I attach it to the other side. I want to let it hang for a second and untwist itself. Another good tip, Julie. And the last thing I would do then is just pop the jump. I thought I had one of those other niobium ear wires here for this, Julie, but I must not have pulled that out. Thought I did and didn't. So there's a couple ways I can attach it now. I can either, depending on the chain I'm using, if I can get that, if I can get the loop of the ear wire through the link of the chain while they're still attached, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I can get the loop of the ear wire through the link of the chain while they're still attached. Then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a small chain like this one is, then I like to do that. But if it's a sm I'm going to go with a jump ring instead. So I'm going to clip that link that was the center link that was right at the top there. And I'm going to thread a jump ring through those end links instead. And that's what I'll attach the ear wire to.
Lynn Goodwin is saying she has no sound.
Uh-oh. Everything's good on this end. Nothing's muted. So that might just be a blip she's experiencing, I hope.
We'll just add it to all the other.
Yeah. And that's it. That's our quick little punch some holes and make some earrings bonus project demo. Whoops. Look, guys, I got an uneven amount of chain links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got to cut a couple off of this side. That's too funny. In both projects, I ended up with uneven chain. Just a reminder to everybody to count carefully and measure carefully. Count in the construction trade, they say measure twice, cut once. Could apply to the jewelry making field too. Right. And there's our earrings. Whew. I was going fast there, guys. I'm going to switch the camera back. I was kind of going fast so that we would have time to get through that. So I feel like it was a little bit of a race, but I did it. We got it done. So Julie, we could turn your camera on so that when you talk, we'll see you instead of just your name.
No, thank you.
She's saying no. So that's it, you guys. A quick necklace, well, not such a quick necklace project, but a Dulce Fita necklace project and some hole punching. So that was fun. I'm glad we got to show you guys a little bit of the hole punching tools because, you know, that really opens up possibilities for working with different TierraCast parts that you can modify them like that and expand the possibilities of what you can do with that piece. So we were happy to get to demo that today. And I'm going to figure out what will happen next week. I'm hoping it can be that UV resin and glass glitter design. If I can get that put together, it might not happen just because things are super busy around here. So keep your eyes open and we'll post what next week's demo will be on Saturday. So thank you all, stay well, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.